Hey everyone, welcome back to Virginia International Raceway for the second race of round 3 of the Formula 1600 Championship. Race 1 was really disappointing with some horrible luck with the weather. That was this morning. It was hot and humid all day, but it was dry. And as we're getting ready for this race, the clouds have started building, and I even started to see some sprinkles on my visor as we're rolling out onto the track. So it's going to be a little bit dicey. Nevertheless, let's take a look at the starting grid. Our best times from race 1 are used for qualifying, so just completing a lap has put us 14th ahead of a handful of others. In race 1 we never got a chance to look at the circuit, so let's do that now. Turns 1 and 14 represent the best passing spots on the track, with the front straight actually having a higher top speed, even though it's actually shorter, since the run through Hog Pen is a lot faster than Oak Tree at the south end of the circuit. Turns 7, 8, and 9, known as the S's, are flat out and not particularly challenging, but it's a lot of fun to weave from side to side as you sort of slalom through them. Turn 10 is a very fast left-hander that looks like it has a lot of runoff room, but the grass on the right side of the track hides some very rough terrain that if you get out onto it can rip the car to shreds, so you have to be very careful, especially as the road sort of falls away after the apex. Oak Tree, there used to be a tree there, but unfortunately it was struck by lightning several years ago, so they had to remove it. It's a real shame because the corner has lost a lot of its character. The roller coaster and Hog Pen are very tricky corners. In the roller coaster, sort of mid-corner, the front end wants to wash out as the road falls away. And in Hog Pen it's a little bit the opposite, whereas you're diving down the hill into the corner on the brakes, the back end wants to step out and spin you around as you dive down the hill. But it's very important to get a run through there because it can set you up for an overtake into turn 1. So for now it's dry, but the threat of rain is very real. And of course we have the same problems as in race 1, where we don't have the necessary resources for changing tires in the middle of the race, even though it's allowed. And I think pretty much all the other teams can do it, except for 1 or 2 other guys that are in my similar situation. So as we approach the green flag, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that the weather holds out. So we're rolling onto the front straight to take the start. We have Mike Scanlon in that blue Spectrum on the left. Joel Haas is in this red and white Piper right in front of us. Of course, we're towards the back of the field, so we've got the entire field almost ahead of us. It's hard to see the green flag. I think they just got the green. We just got the green. There's, I think, Yuvan Sundaramurthy in one of the Cahill cars just got straight around me and is working his way towards the front. Staying towards the inside, we have a bit of an advantage. Trying to get on the power. There's another Spectrum. I'm not sure who that is in that bright orange and white car. I really like that paint scheme, though. I'm a huge fan of it. Feels very retro. Trying to work my way up. I set the 8th fastest time in practice, so I'm fairly confident in my speed on a dry track. So I should be able to work my way up and gain a few positions. Of course, with those Cahill cars right there, it's going to be difficult to get in front of them, but I should try to hold on to their coattails. But I'm not doing a super job. You can see those really threatening rain clouds up ahead. As you see, one car going off in that area that I said was really treacherous. He was lucky to be able to rejoin the track. I think that's Sam Lockwood. Onto the back straight for the first time, trying to get a good exit so we can use the draft all the way down this straightaway. Look at those extremely foreboding clouds off to the left. It's not a good sign. Of course, I still have my tinted visor on, so it looks even dark from inside the cockpit. As I look to the inside, uneven, can't quite do it. Not sure what he's doing all the way back here. He's usually up towards the front. And he's not putting up much of a fight. As we get a good run out of Hog Pen. Time it right with this windy front straightaway. You don't want to make a lunge while they're trying to go for the apex. As I look inside, he gives me a bit of room, and it looks like we're going to be able to complete the pass. tire smoke up ahead. Somebody's off to the left. That's another free spot for us. We'll take it. Looks like Yuvan is still fighting on the inside. Now his line is completely compromised, and I'm able to get on the inside going out of the corner really easily. And that sets me up perfectly as I take the position. But look at how much ground the pack in front of us has gained, and it's going to be tough to make up that ground. Here's the S's up the hill. Left, right, left, right, all flat out. The car kind of bounces up over those crests. A little bit squirrely in the apex. Took a bit too much curb there. Oak Tree is a very difficult section because your eyes are constantly looking to the right, so you never really have that much feel of how much room you have on the left. Of course, you want to use all the track, but since your eyes are so focused to the right, you're never really confident about it. We've left ourselves open to attack. They have the inside, but then they have the outside going into the roller coaster, but they're able to just walk right around me. Oh, they're way slow in Hog Pen. Just have to calm things down, try and reel back that position. It looks like we're under attack, so we leave room at the apex. That's Mike Scanlon, who we battled with in Watkins Glen. Continuing that fight here at VIR. We're able to hold him off for now. I look to the inside, wasn't able to quite get it. I get some understeer and I get onto the grass. Oh! Keep it off the wall, keep it off the wall. Just managed to. I think you see that brown strip before the tire wall. I think I got the left front into that strip before I was able to start to pull it away from the wall. You can see all the grass coming out of the cockpit. I did send VIR an invoice for landscaping, but they haven't gotten back to me. So I'll let you guys know what they say. But that's a pretty big mistake. We've got a lot of ground to make up from that. So you can see the cars going through Oak Tree now. That's the pack that I was racing with. But at least we kept the car off the wall. Once you accept that the car is going off track, then you sort of have to switch gears and sort of rally across the car back onto the track and keep it off the wall. Not sure what I was doing there. I think I was trying to brush the grass off. See how much darker it's gotten. There's another car comes past us. I'm not sure who that is. And these guys were miles behind us. They may have stopped to put rain tires on. It's hard to tell with the video quality, but I think they do have rain tires. here comes the rain. You see the drops hitting the camera more and more now. We get a little bit squirrely in roller coaster, and I think the rain has really truly arrived now. There's a waving yellow. There's a car off on the left. One car ducks into the pits. Now he's going in to change tires. And you can see the tire there in the camera shot is getting wet and shiny. And looks like the track is really, rain is really starting to come down now. Of course, it's still clear. There's no yellow yet. This part of the track looks like it's in a little bit better condition than the front straightaway was, but you can still see the raindrops hitting the camera. You can see the raindrops also collecting on the nose of the car right by my right hand. There's another waving yellow, a car off to the right in front of us. The car is getting squirrely again. You can see the water picking up on that right front tire. So the rain is back, and of course, just like race 1, and you see the rooster tails now. There's no way we can get away with this. We're pretty much in the exact same situation that we were in race 1 now. The track is becoming wet. I can't change tires, but at least this time I had enough time in the race to screw it up myself with that off track where I nearly hit the wall. So now I'm taking it easy. I forget exactly when I decide to pull in, but I'm thinking about making that decision right now. Again, I want to delay it as much as I can because there's a good chance that other cars will pull off or spin off and perhaps crash, and that way I can pass them and get a free position. Proper rooster tails coming off of the cars now. That's a sign that the track is legitimately wet and not just damp, and is entirely too wet for rain tires. It's still sort of dry on the south end of the track around Oak Tree, but up here it's wet. It's legitimately wet. I stay out for at least another lap. Full course yellow is out. You can see it from the start-finish line. So there was at least one car stranded. Turn 4 or turn 5. That sharp left-hander after NASCAR Bend. So now what I'm thinking is that it's wet, the track is wet, there's a full course yellow, so everyone's going to come in the pits to change tires. And that's going to leave me as the only slick-tired car on track. Which is going to be a huge disadvantage, and everyone's just going to walk away from me. So I think after this lap I decide to park it. And you can see that the track is just as wet as it was at the start of race 1. So it was super frustrating. It was a really frustrating day. Just because it was... And the most annoying part was that it was dry all day except for during our 2 races. Everyone else that was racing today had a dry track, except us. And like I said in the first video, I don't mind racing in the rain, and if I had maybe a younger crew member that could help me, could run around the car and change tires in the pit lane, then we would have been able to. We've got the rain tires sitting in our paddock spot. We just don't have anyone to change them on the car. So it's just as frustrating, but at least like this time, like I said, there was a little bit of dry running and I made a big mistake that really compromised our race. So I can feel a little bit better about this one. Rather than fate, it was my own fault. So that's where we finish. So let's take a look at the results. I end up 14th, the last on track really. Those 3 DNFs are the guys that crashed and spun off. I scored 13 championship points. I'm not sure exactly where we are in the championship. We'll take a look after race 3, after the final round of the VIR races. But yeah, really frustrating. Slightly less frustrating than the race this morning, but still frustrating nonetheless. We have another race here at VIR. So this race and the race before were on Saturday, and then we had one race, round 3, race 3 on Sunday. So hopefully the weather holds out for that. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you soon.